Hello! It is growing and I am showing my current owned knife collection. These are the knives that I use and carry from time to time that are mine. I have lots of loaners that come in and out, so my cut jacks, my sages, my chaparral, got a few things on the go. I've also got lots of kind of not junk knives, but knives that I just kind of use for certain tasks. Like I've got an Opinel that I just use for size comparisons. I've got a Victorinox Explorer that I just use in my sharpening kit. These are like my carry knives and tool. So let's go through. I'll be as quick as I can. Oh, and I'll also update you on the steel wheel Modus. So stay tuned. All right, so I'll start on this one, the steel wheel Modus. This was sent to me by a viewer, Frank. I'm going to send Frank back something else because I've ended up really enjoying the steel wheel Modus. And on that, let's dig out the old emails. Steel wheel have been awesome about my little video where the edge wasn't working. They've been super responsive. Paulina, the customer service person, has been just, totally fine. I haven't talked to anyone else in the company. It's like I'm talking to the president or anything like that. I'm just a guy with a small YouTube channel. But yeah, so they did independent testing on the Modus that I sent them back, and they've sent me like the certification of that. So it came back as, like, they couldn't say, can you make sure this is M390, but it's come back with M390-like elements in it. So 2.11% carbon. I'll put the printout of it on the screen now. Like, this is a little certification that they get from like the independent testing company, which is called Element. And then it came back as a Rockwell of 59.5 Rockwell. So that was the knife that I sent them. So that all sounds okay. So sounds like they used, whoever made it for them hasn't fucked up anything too badly. So I'm really not sure what the problem was with that. And I'm not sure if we know. I'm not sure if they know. But they've had it tested and it seems okay. That's a lower Rockwell than I thought they'd be running with. But I guess it could have been a burnt edge. Got better as I went, I guess, maybe. It could have been I'm a retard and I can't sharpen anything. That's possible, but I don't know. I feel like I do it enough and I feel like I gave it a fair few shakes. And yeah, I think I said, like, I went and did, these are quite similar grinds. I went and did this one the exact same way, like the next day, just to be like, I'm just going to double check that I can sharpen stuff. And yeah, this went awesome on the, and it's a different steel, of course, but this is actually a bit of a harder steel to sharpen as well. And then with this knife, when I sharpened this one, the edge was way more, and I had to use my coarse diamond stone on it and stuff. So I don't know, I guess it's one of those things. Mine was just, there was some funky shit going on with it, and that was it. But it seems like the integrity of the company, I would say, is proven, and the integrity of that blade, it was an M390 blade. For some reason that edge just did not work for me. It just did not cut. This one I've got, and I've done all the same stuff with it, and it does cut. So yeah, hopefully that hasn't caused anyone too many headaches. And I've already done my sort of guilt-ridden post about it the other week, so I think I'm happy to close the book with a positive outcome for steel wheel and the Modus and the M390. I think they're probably going to do some more testing and they'll keep me updated. I'll obviously keep you updated as well. So there we go. But back to the collection. M390 Modus is definitely in there and it is good. So I'll put the camera down on the thingy now, so we'll have a bit of a rundown of everything else. Righto, so starting from, put that one aside now, no, leave that there, that's fine. Starting for this is the Leatherman Skeletal Cx with a 154 cm blade. This is like my first ever video was on this exact tool, and it has held up remarkably well. 5 years on this one now, I reckon. 5 years. I did a 1 million view follow-up. Now I'm at over 2 million views, albeit that took a lot quicker to pass. But yeah, really good. Still take this out, still hanging off my belt loop from time to time. Leathermans are still much more socially acceptable to carry around than knives. So if you're going somewhere that's a little bit sensitive, Skeletal Cx, great option. Kaiser Gemini, this one is sticking around too. Wifey loves the Gemini, don't know why. It is a good knife. Handle's probably a little bit short for me, but it's a comfortable handle, comfortable knife, really good action. Good S35 VN, I've tested this a few times with different edges from Kaiser. It does the job, it holds an edge. It slices well. It's got a good full flat grind. It's it's good on the thin side. It's just a nice EDC knife. They do a new one with a better pocket clip now, or not a better pocket clip, but like a better looking pocket clip at least. But yeah, this one's got some wear on it. It's been pretty well used, so good knife, the Gemini. Delica, which I bought. Yeah, I do actually carry this from time to time. I bought this mainly for size comparisons in videos and just to have one around. I know it's a bit mundane, a bit redundant, but it's still a good enough knife. It's absolutely fine. It's good to have some VG10 around to use as like a benchmark steel. And yeah, happy with that. Just really lightweight. Similar to the Delica, I got a Mantra bag. So the Mantra is a very similar pattern to the Delica. A couple of differences, obviously. It's a flipper and it's titanium, but in terms of size and shape and stuff, it's pretty similar. It's got almost the same handle, just a slightly different shaped blade. It's a really, really nice knife. It's got some issues. Mantras are not perfect. There is a bearing issue in it, which means that it is hard to keep them centered. And the track wears a bit unevenly on these older Mantras. They have fixed that in the new Spyderco flippers, but this is still an old one. I was really disappointed though. I was really excited to see the Mantra 3, but I'm really disappointed to see that it's not in M4 anymore. It being in M4 was one of the special things about the Mantra, because otherwise it's very much a generic looking Spyderco flipper. And the M4 steel is really something that's a bit, oh cool, that one's in M4. There's not many flippers in M4, and there really isn't. So Spyderco, I really do wish you'd reconsider doing the Mantra in stainless. You say that people do complain about we talk about the rust resistance. I wouldn't say we're complaining about it because they just patina a bit and it's fine. M4 just holds an edge and it's just a different material to your average run-of-the-mill powdered stainless. It's just cool to have some knives and some random steels. And Spyderco are usually really good with random steels and having cool experimental steels like Police's and K390, all that sort of stuff. So I don't know, guys. I'd love if you'd reconsidered that, but hey, whatever. The Mantra 1 is still a really, really good knife, even with the the pivot issues. I would love to see them go through and just put the new pivots on the old Mantras and the old Advocate and all that stuff. So I'm hoping they've done that or are doing that. Right. Spidey Chef. Yeah, I'd say this is still probably my favorite knife. I still carry it probably most, like, when I'm just not reviewing anything, I'm just like, oh, what do I want to take in my pocket? Probably this one the most. It used to be the Alma Falcon the most. I'll get to that in a minute, but yeah, this one, it's a really, really great knife, and I just love the blade shape and how it performs, and I love the steel, and it's getting a bit dull at the minute, but it's fine still. It's a good thin knife. I've used this for a lot of different jobs, and it's really not let me down. Really love the Spidey Chef. The Kaiser T1, sticking around. I did actually try and sell this a little while back. And I'm glad I didn't, because I reckon it would have been like a Mantra or an American Lawman situation once again. So yeah, it's just a really good basic knife, but it's definitely got a premium feel to it. It's nice bearing, launching, thumb stud, one-handed opening. It's good. It's not a flipper, which I like. I've sort of got flipper overdose lately. So the Mantra, sorry, not the Mantra, the T1 is a great design from a good designer, from a good company. I like most things about this knife. It's really, really nice. And it slices like crazy. It's so well ground behind the edge. Really, really nice and thin, well ground knife. Awesome. The American Lawman, of course, I'll bring out. I've spoken enough about this. I've done videos dedicated to it. It is your go-to, like, basic, no frills, but super reliable folding knife, and it's the one I recommend to most people. It's still really good value. You see the steel on this. You see how much of rope I can cut with this. It's crazy. They've done a really good job on the American Lawman upgrade. Really hoping they still keep using XHP. I think it's a great steel. Really happy with this. I'll always have an American Lawman, I think. And until someone makes a better basic knife that I'll take if I think it's going to be a bit rough and don't want to scuff up my titanium, I'll take the American Lawman, you know? The Maximatics. I'm more or less just keeping this round as a benchmark steel. Like the Maximate is not many companies using Maximate in knives, and this is a good example of it. Cuts like insane amounts of rope. Patina's like crazy, really, really quickly. You see it gets dark up near the spine here just from like handling it. There is not much you can do about that. The blade is just getting deeper tinged as it goes on, but that's kind of cool actually. Yeah, Manix is a bit like the Lawman in terms of just a really basic no frills user knife. I think the Lawman carries a bit differently, or I would probably prefer the Lawman over the Manix still. It's close, but I think I prefer the feeling of the linerless G10 to the FRN. Both are excellent. Both are really, really excellent knives, but I think it's a bit redundant having them both for me. This will stick around though, just for the steel, I think. But yeah, you know, it's some people don't like the lock, but I can work it just fine. It's not as good as an Axis lock, but there you go. I've got no issues with any real part of this design, apart from, yeah, it's just so basic, and yeah. It's fine though, it's fine. This Manix 2 is a fine knife. Fine in terms of it's really fine to have, but I don't know. The Police, this is kind of like my performance knife. It's just really thinly ground behind the edge. I've put a really like high, it's probably about 15 degrees now, and I've put a crazy, this just cuts so well, this Police. I can get it, of all the edges I've done to try and catch Maximet, the K390 is the closest to it. It's still a couple of hundred cuts off, but the K390 on this knife's done really well. Really, really tough steel as well. This might be a bit brittle. This is not brittle steel at all. This is tough, really, really extreme steel. Really excellent knife. And you know, overall, it's a good model. It's probably a bit longer than you'd actually want, but I like it. It's just fine. Let's have a look, moving on. Geez, the time just ticks away in these videos. 2 left, the Alma Falcon it's towards the end of its lifespan. I've probably over sharpened it. It's just, I've absolutely thrashed this knife, AUS 8, Oz 8 steel. Just, you know, it goes dull quick, so you have to sharpen a lot, and they don't give you a lot of blade to last. So it's been about a year and a bit now since I've had this one, and yeah, carrying it most days and using it pretty heavily, and just trying to tweak that edge has kind of shortened its life a bit. I will probably get a new one of these though. I'm thinking I might get the Eagle rather than the Falcon Ultralight, but we'll see. Cutlery Shop had these ZDP ones in orange handles for a while. That would have just been insane. Do that again, please. They've upgraded to VG10 the steel, so not many companies can say they've upgraded to VG10, but Alma sadly can, so there you go. But I'll probably pick up a VG10 Falcon at some point soon. And my last is the Rake P801SB. So I had the Saturn one for a while. This is just an excellent budget knife, and I think I need to keep a budget knife around just to have for reviews and just to have, you know, actually carry happily, and I do carry this one really happily. It's a nice slim design, cuts really well, flips really well, has a good pocket clip. Some of the Rakes have a terrible big orb thing in their pocket clip. I still think this is almost their strongest design, and it's just one of their first, and it's so basic. It's made by like that amalgam of weird companies in China, the Real Steel, San Renmu, Rake companies, but whatever, it's really good. It's only about 40 bucks in Australia. You really can't go wrong. It's got one of the better budget steels, the 14C28N, which I can get to perform about as well as VG10. So excellent knife. So that's that. Alright, so that is my collection. Hope you've enjoyed. Modus business is funny. I don't quite know what the answer is with that one there, but yeah, I revisited that first video I did, and yeah, I don't know, it wasn't doing it. But they've said it's I'm pretty happy that it wasn't mislabeled or anything like that. And I don't think the heat treatment was too insanely bad. Burnt edge, retardation, who knows? But it's, yeah, this one is better, this one is good, and there isn't like an endemic mislabeling issue going on at Steel Wheel. So I'm pretty happy to say that as well. Alright guys, well, I'll catch you all in the next video, and hope you have a lovely day. Bye now. Sorry, I'm a complete womble. I forgot my EDC knife today, the knife I'm actually carrying. It's the Para 3. The Para 3 is actually really enjoyable. You know what, I can't help but call it controversy. I'm just one of those guys, I'm gonna have to say something controversial about this knife as well. In that, this is probably one of my favorite Spydercos. It's really, really nice. I was prepared like for utter mediocrity. It's kind of what everyone, this really kind of fizzed when it launched, and everyone was just like, yeah, this part is a bit shit for sure. Like this is not the best, but in the hand, it's actually a really nice knife to use. And yeah, it's a bit thicker, but it still cuts really, really well. yeah, I'm gonna have to. I haven't done the review yet, but steel yourselves for probably a pretty positive review of the Para 3. What? I know, right? Knife guy, knife nerd, likes the Para 3 a lot. And not even just, oh, it's okay, but there's so many knives that do things better. This one, yeah, I'm actually really enjoying it. But I've got the Sage 5 coming tomorrow as well. So that may change it. Maybe that's super heaps better than this one. I'm not sure. But yeah, in terms of being an actual using blade, the Para 3, man, it's good. This isn't a 110V. Maybe that's the spice that it needed. I don't know. Just S30V, maybe that's what everyone's down about. But in terms of, yeah, just a pretty good basic pocket knife, Para 3, man, I wouldn't knock it until you try it. Don't believe the misery about it. It's really, really good. Alright guys, I'll catch you later. Bye.